everyone, welcome to our channel CodeChef. I am Kusmulata Bhatt and today we are going to solve a problem, Derive Good String from CodeChef platform, which is of Cakewalk difficulty level and it requires no prerequisites. So let's understand the problem statement first. We have to solve t test cases and in each test case we are given a string S and we have to perform moves on the string S to make it a good string. Now in one move we can delete a character from string S. Example, we have a string A, B, C, D, D. Then, removing any of the character from it will be considered as one move. Now, what is the meaning of good string here? Now, good string is a string in which the number of occurrences of every character is at most 1. Like, if we have a string A, B, C, D, D, then A is occurring two times in it, B is occurring one time in it, C is occurring one time in it, D is occurring two times in it. So in this case, we cannot consider it as a good string. Why? Because A is occurring two times and D is occurring two times. And we have to make sure that every character in our string is occurring at most one time. So here A, B, C, D cannot be considered as a good string. So here this string cannot be considered as a good string. While if we are given with a string like ABCD, then we can consider it as a good string because in this every character is occurring at most one time. So now what our task is, we have to find the minimum number of moves required to make our given string S into a good string for each test case. So let's see the input format for the problem. The first line of the problem is going to contain a variable t which is going to show us the number of test cases. Now for the next t lines, we are given a string S. For the output, we have to print the minimum number of moves which are required to make string S a good string. Now for constraints, we are given t value between 1 and 100 and length of S is between 1 and 10 to the power 4. So let's see how we can approach this problem. So we are given that a string will be considered as a good string only when the character in it will appear at most one time. Or we can also say that for a string to be good, no character in it should occur more than one times. So this makes us sure that we have to remove those characters who are occurring more than one time. That is, we have to simply remove those characters whose frequency is greater than 1 to the point their frequency becomes 1. So our answer is simply the moves, the total moves required to bring the frequency of all characters in S to 1. So now let's see it in the sample input whether our answer is correct or not. Like for the first input, we have A occurring one time, B occurring one time, C occurring one time. So in this case, we are seeing that our, our every character has frequency equal to 1. So we need not to apply any move here. So our answer is going to be 0. Now for the second test case, we have C frequency as 3, D frequency as 1, A frequency as 1, B frequency as 1. So here we can see that we have to apply moves on the character C and we have to apply it until its frequency become 1. So for this purpose, we have to delete 2C from the string S. So our answer is going to be 2 here because we have to remove 2C and after removing those, our every character is going to have the frequency 1. So our answer is 0 and 2 for this. So now let's see how we can implement our solution. So one thing is sure, we have to maintain the frequency of every character. So for storing the frequency of character, we can make use of any data structure. Since here we have to maintain the frequency of characters, and so we can make use of fact that our string S is going to contain only some characters, and since here it is not mentioned that where it can contain lowercase, uppercase or any character, so we can simply assume that it is going to contain lowercase characters. So for this purpose, what we can do, we can simply maintain a frequency array of 26 size. So now what our task remains is, we will take an input of string S, we will simply traverse S and update its frequency and update frequency array for its every character. And then we will traverse frequency array and check if the frequency of some character is greater than 1. We will simply apply the moves on that character and will add frequency c minus 1, because for converting the frequency of character c to 1, we have to simply delete its frequency c minus 1 occurrences. So at last we have to simply print our answer. So we have to do this exactly for t test cases. Now what will be the time complexity and space complexity for every test case? Since we are storing a string s and a frequency array of size 26, so space complexity is going to be O of n plus 26, which is simply going to be O of n. So now what about time complexity? For time complexity, we are again inputting a string and traversing our string, and we are traversing frequency array. So we can say our time complexity is also going to be O of n. So now let's have a look on the C++ code of the problem. So here in this line, we are simply taking the input of test cases, and then for every test case, we are declaring a frequency array of size 26. We are then initializing the frequency array with 0 value, because by default the array is going to contain some garbage value. And then we are taking the input of string s, then we are traversing the string s, and we are updating the frequency of every character appearing in the string s, and then we are simply initializing our answer, and then we are searching for the characters having frequency greater than 1, and we are simply adding the extra appearance of the characters from the string. Like I have run this code here, it is running fine for the sample test cases. So let's submit it here. So we are seeing that it is showing the correct answer. Now in Python we can implement it more simply. Like what we can do, we can make a set of unique characters that are appearing in string s, and then our answer will simply be the length of string s and the length of the set s which is containing the unique characters of string s, and then we are simply printing that answer. And now let's have look on some of the error code. Here we are forgetting to initialize the frequency array with 0 value, due to which it will get operated on the garbage value and we will get the wrong answer. Now let's have a look on another error code. Here we are declaring frequency array as a vector. Here it will get initialized as 0 value. But what we are doing, we are forgetting to reinitialize it. Like for every test case, we need to reinitialize it. Otherwise, it will contain the value from the last test case. Now for fixing this error, what we can do, we can simply initialize our frequency array every time. So that's it for the video guys. Thanks for watching.